Okay, good morning. So it's the last day. Morning number 5. Excuse me 1 second. So today we are going to be celebrating ourselves, a nice strong practice. We are goddesses and we're going to bring that through in our flow today. The Shavasana at the end, the relaxation, will be a bit more of a story time. I'm going to read a story to you that wowed me basically, and I hope it will really empower you, not just for the rest of your day and your weekend, but hopefully just in general moving forwards. So we're going to start today in a seated position of your choice. So you can either be on your knees or seated with your legs crossed. If you have full lotus, you can do that also. So either legs crossed or on your knees, and if you want to use a block or a cushion to prop your sit bones up, you absolutely can do. Just initiating a slight tilt in the pelvis there to lengthen through the spine. So once you've arrived, roll your shoulders down the back, engage through your pelvic floor, that muscle that runs flat and holds up your spine. Chest is open, palms are resting downwards on your knees. And if you feel comfortable, soften the gaze and gently close down the eyes. Just notice any sounds in the room. Really focus on what you can hear. Maybe sounds that you otherwise wouldn't have noticed. If any thoughts creep in, you get sucked into a thought, that's okay. Just notice it. And simply by noticing it, you're bringing yourself external to it. We're not rejecting those thoughts. Just gonna let them be. Now notice any sensations on your skin. The feeling of the air, is it cool? Is it warm? And then notice that air tickle your nostrils as you inhale through the nose and exhale. Bring your left palm to your chest, your heart space, and your right palm to your belly. Continue to breathe gently and just notice the gentle rise and fall as you breathe in and breathe out. And now I'd like you to bring your attention to you, yourself as an individual person, as a woman, as a mother. And be kind to yourself by thinking of at least one quality. Just think of one quality that you have. And say the words, I am, and just finish that phrase with one word. It's true to you. As you inhale, say the words, I am in your mind. And as you exhale, feel that belief sinking into as your belly softens and your palms melt into your front body. I am. Almost as if you're gently pressing this belief into your body. That word is beneath your palms. And Feel it absorbing into you. One more time, deepest breath yet. I am. And say that word, scream that word, shout that word in your mind as loudly as possible. Keeping your eyes closed if you wish. You may blink them open if you prefer. We're going to place the right hand on the left knee. Reach the left fingertips behind you and gaze over your left shoulder, taking an inhale as you imagine you're lifting out through the crown of the head, and then exhaling as you just twist a little bit deeper, but we're not forcing it. Inhale once more, and exhale, release onto the other side. Left hand to right knee, right fingertips behind you, lift out through the crown of the head as you lift up, as you inhale, and then exhale, gazing over the right shoulder. Inhale once more. Exhale, release. Place your left hand on the mat by the side of you. Inhale as you lift your right hand up and over your head. And then exhale, lean over to the left, feeling that stretch through your right side body. Drawing your right hip down to the earth, your right sit bone down to the earth, and drawing your right shoulder back, opening out through the chest. Take another inhale here. Exhale, release. Inhale as you lift your left arm up over your head, right hand comes down to the earth. Exhale, stretch over to the right side. Take another inhale here, opening out through the chest. So drawing your left shoulder back. And then exhale, release back to center. Go ahead and bring yourself into tabletop, blinking your eyes open gently if you haven't done so already. Hands are below your shoulders, knees below your hips. Taking 3 rounds of cat-cow here. Dropping the belly as we inhale, opening out through the chest, arching the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, draw the belly up into the navel, into the spine, tucking the tailbone, chin to chest. Inhale, drop the belly, arch the spine, lift the gaze. Exhale, suck that belly button in and up towards the sky. Inhale once more as you lift the gaze, shine the heart space forwards, feel the arch through the spine. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone under, curve through the spine as you tuck your chin to your chest. Go ahead and release back to neutral. Tuck your toes under as you take an inhale. Hover your knees just above the mat for a moment. And then as you exhale, lift your sit bones up and back, downward facing dog. And as always, take a moment to wiggle around. So any movement you need, ladies. Nice. Respond to what your body is calling for right now. Whether that's lifting a leg, walking your dog, bending the knees. And then we'll eventually find some stillness. So let's check in with our alignments. Hands are shoulder distance apart, fingers nice and wide, pressing through the palms of the hands, drawing that energy up the arms, retracting the shoulder blades back and down, extension from the crown of the head, right the way along the spine, up and out of the tailbone as your sit bones lift up and back. Generous bending the knees here if you wish. And then on your next exhale, can you draw your heels closer to the mat? Taking another inhale here. And exhale, sigh that breath out of the mouth. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, sigh the breath out of the mouth. Inhale as you shift yourself forwards into high plank, shoulders over the wrists, engaging through your core, pressing through those back heels. Take an inhale here. Exhale as you shift forward slightly, lower the knees and bend through your elbows into your ribs, bringing your chest all the way down to the mat. Inhale as you lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, push yourself back through tabletop, and then exhale up into downward facing dog. That's one variation of a vinyasa. Coming into our second, inhale as you shift forwards. Exhale, you have the option to lower your knees anytime. Exhale as you bend through your elbows into your ribs, coming only halfway this time. As you inhale, draw the chest forward, lift the gaze, come up onto the tops of your feet, knees are lifted, upward facing dog, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, up and back, lifting the sit bones high, downward facing dog. Third vinyasa, your choice this time. Inhaling as you shift forwards into high plank. Your option to drop the knees or keep them lifted. Exhale as you bend through your elbows, either halfway or all the way to the mat. Inhale as you lift up into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take another inhale here in downward facing dog, and then exhale, bend through your knees generously as you walk slowly to the top of your mat. Notice every single step through the soles of your feet. Let gravity be your friend here. Top of the head draws down towards the earth. Extending from the spine right through the neck, so the back of the neck's nice and soft. And you may want to take hold of both elbows once you're there. Take a moment here, and then when you're ready, press through the soles of your feet, curling up through the spine. We're going to come all the way up to standing as slowly as you like, one vertebra at a time. Chin is the very last thing to lift. And when you arrive, bring your feet together, toes touching. Feel that connection with the earth, press into the soles of the feet, draw that energy up your legs, engage through your glutes, suck the belly in, roll the shoulders back, chest is open, palms forwards, chin is lifted, and smile. Go ahead and close your eyes and say your phrase just once in your mind. I am. Go ahead and blink your eyes open. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold the body forwards. Forwards fold. Inhale, draw the crown of the head forward, sit bones back, halfway lift. Knees can be soft here. Exhale, release. Now everyone bend generously in the knees to sweep your arms back and up. Utkatasana, chair pose. So neutral spine here. So you almost want to think like you're tucking the tailbone slightly under. Engage through that pelvic floor. Reach out through the fingertips. As you inhale, as you exhale, can you sit just a little bit deeper? Weight is in the heels. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release. Step yourself back into plank. Take an inhale here, shining the elbow creases forward, engaging through the core. And then as you exhale, lowering the knees if you wish, come through your variation of vinyasa, shifting forwards and down, bending those elbows into the side body. Inhaling as you open the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhale as you lift your right heel up and back slightly, three-legged dog, keeping the weight even in the palm. Step that foot, exhale, step that foot between your hands, lower that your back foot, heel even, 45-degree angle. Then inhale, sweep your arms back and up, warrior one. So we're pressing through both soles of the feet here, almost on the outside edge of that back foot. Draw your left hip forward, right hip back, squaring out the hips. And then go ahead and press into the outside edge of that foot again, because I bet you've lost it. Keep tucking your tailbone under slightly. Inhaling as you lift out through the crown of the head. Strong warrior one. And then exhale, release down to the mat. Step yourself back into plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, take yourself through vinyasa. Exhaling as you lower. Inhaling as you lift the gaze, open out the chest. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left heel up and back. Exhale, step that foot between the hands. Lower the back heel, 45-degree angle with that back foot. Inhale as you sweep the arms back and up. Warrior one, bending over your front toes. Draw that right hip forward and then press into the outside edge of that back foot. Tucking the tailbone slightly, so drawing your navel into your spine, engaging that pelvic floor so we don't have an arch in the lower back, okay? Reaching out through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, you can release down to the mat. So go ahead and step the right foot forwards, generous bend in the knees, forwards fold, and then we inhale, sweep the arms back and up into our Utkatasana, chair pose once more. Holding here, weight is in the heels, reaching out through the fingertips. Take another exhale, and one more big inhale, and then exhale, release down to the mat. Go ahead and step yourself all the way back into your downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sigh the breath out through the mouth.
If at any point you need to, you can always come down to child's pose. We'll take one more breath here in downward dog, inhaling through the nose, deep into the belly. And exhale, sigh that breath out through the mouth. Inhale, lift your left heel up and back, keeping that hip square so you can feel the stretch in your right calf. That back foot is flexed. Then bend through that knee as you open out that hip. So those toes are going to start to point down towards the earth, knee points towards the sky, keeping the weight evenly in your palm. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, you're going to draw that knee towards your nose and step that foot forwards, lowering the back knee. Inhale as you sweep your arms back and up, crescent lunge. Now engage, pressing through the sole of your front foot here. Really feel that engagement in the thigh so you're not sinking forward. So pressing into the sole of your foot, lifting out the crown of the head, keeping those hips nice and even. Inhale as you lift. And then as you exhale, go ahead and sink forward into that hip and maybe take a slight back bend. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, release your fingertips down to the mat and then plant your back foot so it's parallel with that back edge of the mat. We're finding a strong foundation here for our warrior two. So bending over those front toes. See if as you inhale, press into the soles of your feet. Can you lift without moving anything below your hips? Warrior two. Strong warrior pose here, ladies. Drawing your right shoulder back, keeping the pelvis tucked so we're not sinking into the lower back, bending over that front knee and taking the gaze over those front fingers. Take an inhale as you reach forward slightly, lift that front palm and then reach that arm up and over your head, reversing your warrior. Again, without moving anything below the hips. So keeping that bend in that front knee. Take another inhale here. And then as you exhale, swing the arm forward, rest your forearm on your thigh. Reach your other arm up and over your head, reach it up to the sky. And if you wish, you can even reach it over to the front edge of your mat. Drawing the right shoulder back here, imagine you'll be in a very, very narrow hallway and we're lifting out of that left shoulder so we're not sinking into it. Take an inhale as you take it back again to reverse warrior. Exhale, take it forwards, side angle. Inhale, take it back once more. Exhale, side angle. And then inhale, just bring it back to warrior two. Go ahead and straighten out that front leg. Bring your left toes in so your feet are parallel. And then bring your both heels in so your toes are wider than your heels. Bringing your palms to heart center in Anjali Mudra prayer. Take an inhale here, strong and proud. And then as you exhale, bend, soften through your knees as you sink your sit bones down, knees are drawing over the toes. Strong goddess pose. Engage your pelvic floor here. Think about drawing your hips forward, drawing the knees back. Maybe you can close down the eyes. Press the palms of your hands together. Chin is lifted. Relax that crease between your eyebrows. And then as you exhale, blink the eyes open and press through the soles of your feet, extending the legs upwards. Go ahead and turn the heels out or the toes in, whichever you prefer. Inhale as you reach your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, open out through your chest as you inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to hinge from the hips to bring the torso parallel to the mat, parallel to the floor. So your shoulders are drawing back here. So you can have the stance as wide as you prefer. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, you can release the bind if you need to, or just carry on reaching your forehead down toward the earth. Either drawing the backs of your palms up towards the sky or releasing them down to the mat to support you. If you like a block here, you can absolutely use one that will bring the ground closer to you, or you can rest your hands on your shins. You can even take a nice, generous soften through the knees. In fact, everybody do that now. So on an exhale, soften through the knees completely and go ahead and walk your fingertips around to frame your front foot and then step yourself back into plank. Take an inhale here and then exhale, take yourself through vinyasa. So shifting forwards as you bend the elbows into the side body. Inhale up facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. Exhale, sigh the breath out through the mouth. Inhale, lift your right heel up and back, pressing through that left calf, even weight in both hands. Exhale as you bend through that knee, opening out the chest. Take another inhale here, and then exhale, go ahead and draw that knee in towards the nose and step that foot forwards. Lower that back knee. Inhale, sweep your arms back and up, crescent lunge. Pressing into that front foot as you feel that engagement, inhaling, lift. And then exhale as you sink forwards and maybe a slight back bend. Just taking the gaze upwards, reaching those fingertips back. Take an inhale as you lift back to neutral. And then exhale, release your fingertips down. Find your foundation for your strong warrior two. So planting through that back foot, it's parallel with the back edge of the mat, bending over your front toes. Nothing moves below the hips as you press into the soles of the feet. Inhale, lift up into warrior two. So drawing that left shoulder back, press into the outside edge of that back foot. Fingertips reaching in opposite directions. Take your gaze over your right middle finger. Take an inhale as you shift forward slightly, palm turns up, and then reach that hand up and over your head. Reverse warrior. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, we sweep over into our extended side angle on the other side. So we're not sinking into this right hip. We're resting our forearm on that thigh, pressing through the sole of your right foot, drawing the left shoulder back. Inhale as you sweep back to reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. One more round like this. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten out that front leg. Turn those right toes in and then turn both your heels in, preparing for your goddess squat on the other side. This time, we're going to take a mudra, so index finger and thumb together. On both hands, bring your arms up to a cactus position. Now you can, or if you prefer, you can just have your palms flat as if pressing against the wall. Take an inhale here, strong and proud, and then exhale, sit those sit bones down, bending through the knees bending over the fourth toe, drawing the elbows back, engaging through that pelvic floor. Strong goddess pose. If you like, you can close down the eyes. And come back to your phrase, I am. Feel the strength in you as you hold this strong goddess pose. Blink the eyes open if they're closed. Inhale as you press through the soles of the feet, extending the legs out. Go ahead and either bring the toes in or bring the heels out, depending on how wide you'd like the stance. And interlace your fingers behind your back once more. Maybe you switch the grip this time. Inhale as you open out through the chest, draw the backs of the hands down towards the earth. Exhale, hinge from the hips here. So think about engaging through that pelvic floor. And then fold the body forwards. So pressing into the outside edge of your feet, kneecaps lifted. Coming to halfway, backs of the hands are drawing up towards the sky, holding that halfway point. And then as you exhale, continue to fold, releasing the hands if you wish or keeping them interlaced. Pressing into the balls of your feet and the outside edge. Remember, you can soften through the knees or bring your hands to your shins at any point, wherever you like. Take a moment here. Let's do an inhale as we halfway lift. So drawing the crown of the head forwards. And then exhale, release into this deep forwards fold. Walk your fingertips around to the front edge of your mat, framing that left foot. And then go ahead and step yourself back into plank. Take an inhale here. And then your final vinyasa, exhale as you lower, bending through the elbows, chest comes towards the mat. All the way or halfway. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale,
downward facing dog. Take an inhale once you arrive in downward facing dog. And then as you exhale, lower the knees and we'll take it back into child's pose. So traditional child's pose here, knees together, bringing the hands around towards the toes, resting the forehead on the mat, releasing that tension in the shoulders. Soften the crease between the eyebrows. Take an inhale here. And exhale, sigh the breath out through the mouth. Really slowing everything down now. Few breaths here. Okay, go ahead and use your fingertips to lift yourself up. Coming onto one side of your butt cheeks, swing your legs out in front of you. Plant through the soles of your feet, bending the knees, plant through the soles of your feet, and then lower your back down to the mat. So you should just about be able to tickle your heels with your fingertips. Feet are hip distance apart. Imagine you're holding, not squeezing, imagine you're holding an inflatable ball between your legs. Pressing into the soles of the earth, press your palms into the earth, and just notice what that does to your tailbone. So again, press the soles of your feet into the earth and notice a slight tilt in your pelvis and an engagement. Take another inhale. Exhale here. And then on our next inhale, we press into the soles of the feet. We're going to lift the hip bones up high, coming into our bridge pose. And then as we exhale, we're going to curl back through the spine, bringing it all the way down. One more like this. Inhale, press into the soles of the feet, hold that ball so the knees are not sinking inwards or outwards, keeping the legs nice and parallel. Exhale, lower. This time, inhale as you press into the soles of the feet, lift the hip bones high, and we're going to hold it here. You may want to interlace your fingers behind your back, creating more opening in the chest, really lifting the hips high, expanding through the front of the heart space. Glutes are engaged, hamstrings are engaged, and as you exhale, release the bind and roll yourself all the way back down. This time you can do that exact same thing again, or if you are advanced and you want to try wheel, if it's in your practice and you've done it before, you absolutely can. So just holding here for a moment while I demonstrate. If you'd like to try wheel, exact same engagement in your lower body. Your hands are going to be planted next to your shoulder, next to your ears, with your fingertips towards the mat, and the heel of your hand is coming towards the back of your mat. So elbows shining high. As you take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to press into the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands, drawing the hip bones high, coming in to your wheel pose. Drawing the chest between the arms, and then when you're ready to come down, this is important, bending through the knees, bring the back of your head towards the mat first. Then draw your sit bones towards your heels, and this is how you can come out safely. So everybody in their starting position, sounds like we're running a race, planting your palms and your soles of your feet into the earth, hip distance apart. Palms are either planted next to your hips or prepared for wheel. Take an inhale, and exhale, we press into the earth, lifting the hips high, opening out through the chest, holding that ball between the legs, so be cautious not to let the knees sink out to the side. Take one more round of breath here. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and roll back through your spine. If you're in wheel, make sure you bring the back of your head to touch the mat first, and then draw your sit bones towards your heels to lower. Bring your knees together, your feet as wide as the mat, and let's just allow this release in the lower back. Finding our neutral spine. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Bring your nose into your knees, chin to chest. And then extend your left leg long, squeezing that right knee in. Go ahead and lift it up and over to the left. Reaching your right fingertips either long, or you can bring them to a cactus shape, whichever you prefer. Holding onto your left knee if you wish. Drawing your right shoulder down to the earth, and then take your gaze to the right. Go ahead and release, bringing your right knee back to center. Give it a little squeeze before you extend it long, and then draw your left knee in. Give that one a squeeze, and then lift it over to the right. Left shoulder is flush with the mat. Extending your left fingertips either out to the side or into that cactus position. Take an inhale. Exhale. Gaze is over to the left. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and bring that knee back in. Go ahead and bring your right knee in. Give yourself another squeeze. And when you're ready, bring your shoulders back down to the mat. Press your heels up towards the sky, coming into this L-shaped position here. Now for final inversion, this is absolutely fine. This is a great way for you to calm the nervous system before our final relaxation. And if you'd like to join me, palms press into the earth, just engaging through your lower abdomen as you lift the sit bones up and draw those toes up and back behind you, lifting the sit bones high, and see if you can bring your toes down towards the mat. This is a deep, deep stretch along the entire back body, but I assure you it's very satisfying. It's my favorite stretch. This is Halasana plow pose. Toes touching the earth, hip distance apart maybe. And just feel that extension along the entire back of the body. Our heart is now above our head, so we're in an inversion. If you wish to take shoulder stand, you absolutely can do now. So hands to the lower back, either one foot at a time, or both feet at a time, either with bent legs or straight legs, taking one leg up, and then maybe the other one, engaging through your core. And however you get there, once you're there, finding some stillness, you take at least 3 slow breaths here. Wherever you are, whether it's in that L shape, Halasana plow pose, or shoulder stand, or maybe you came back to child's pose. Wherever you are, just breathing deeply and slowly through the nose. Long, calm breaths. If you're in shoulder stand, you can go ahead and bring your toes back down towards the earth as slowly as you like. And only once your toes touch the ground, release your hands. And we all plant our palms into the earth. Rolling back through the spine, we're all making our way back to that L-shaped position we had before. Heels shining towards the sky. And then bend through your knees, open them out as you take hold of the outside edges of your feet. Elbows fall inside the knees, hands come to the outside of the feet, and pull your knees down. Happy baby.
Opening in the hips here. So draw your sit bones down towards the mat. So feel your lower back flush with the earth. Maybe you want to rock from side to side here. And whenever you're ready, bring the soles of your feet together. Bring both feet down towards the earth and allow your knees to drop out to the side. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring your left hand to your heart space, your right hand to your belly. Feel that rise and fall beneath your palms. Notice the heat. Notice any difference. And say your words, I am. Bring your hands down to the mat, tops of the hands touching the earth, palms facing skyward. Extend your legs long. Maybe draw your shoulders away from the ears. Maybe you tuck the tailbone one last time, extending through the spine, coming into our final Shavasana. So it's blanket time. If you have one, go ahead and grab it. Allow your toes to drop out to the side. Lying flat on your back, soften the gaze, close down the eyes, and just relax here. A little bit different today. I'm actually going to read you a story. It's from a book called Untamed, and you'll see why. Two summers ago, my wife and I took our daughters to the zoo. As we walked the grounds, we saw a sign advertising the park's big event, the Cheetah Run. A peppy blonde zookeeper in a khaki vest appeared. She held a megaphone and the leash of a yellow Labrador retriever. Welcome everybody, you are about to meet our resident cheetah, Tabitha. Do you think this is Tabitha? No, the kids yelled. The sweet Labrador is Minnie, Tabitha's best friend. We introduced them when Tabitha was a baby cheetah, and we have raised Minnie alongside Tabitha to help tame her. Whatever Minnie does, Tabitha wants to do. The zookeeper motioned toward a parked jeep behind her. A pink stuffed bunny was tied to the tailgate with a fraying rope. She said, Minnie the lab loves to chase this bunny. So first, Minnie will do the cheetah run while Tabitha watches to remember how it's done. Then we'll count down. I'll open Tabitha's cage and she'll take off. At the end of the route, just 100 meters that way, there will be a delicious steak waiting for Tabitha. The zookeeper uncovered Tabitha's cage and walked Minnie, eager and panting, to the start line. She signaled to the jeep and it took off. She released Minnie's leash and we all watched a yellow lab joyfully chase a dirty pink bunny. The children applauded earnestly. The adults wiped sweat from their foreheads. Finally, it was time for Tabitha's big moment. We counted down in unison. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The zookeeper slid open the cage door and the bunny took off once again. Tabitha bolted out, laser focused on the bunny, a spotted blur. She crossed the finish line within seconds. The zookeeper whistled and threw her a steak. Tabitha pinned it to the ground with her oven mitt paws, hunkered down in the dirt and chewed while the crowd clapped. I didn't clap. I felt queasy. The taming of Tabitha felt familiar. I watched Tabitha gnawing that steak in the zoo dirt and thought, day after day, this wild animal chases dirty pink bunnies down the well-worn, narrow path they cleared for her, never looking left or right, never catching that damn bunny, settling instead for a store-bought steak and the distracted approval of sweaty strangers, obeying the zookeeper's every command, just like Minnie, the lab she's been trained to believe she is. Unaware that if she remembered her wildness just for a moment, she could tear those zookeepers to shreds. When Tabitha finished her steak, the zookeeper opened a gate that led to a small fenced field. Tabitha walked through and the gate closed behind her. There, in that field, away from Minnie and the zookeepers, Tabitha's posture had changed. Her head was high and she was stalking the periphery, tracing the boundaries the fence created. Back and forth, stopping only to stare somewhere beyond the fence. It was like she was remembering something. She looked regal and a little scary. My daughter Tish whispered to me, "Mummy, she turned wild again." I nodded at Tish and kept my eyes on Tabitha as she stalked. I wished I could ask her, "What's happening inside you right now?" I knew what she'd tell me. She'd say, "Something's off about my life. I feel restless and frustrated. I have this hunch that everything was supposed to be more beautiful than this. I imagine fences, wide open savannas. I want to run and hunt and kill. I want to sleep under an ink black, silent sky filled with stars. It's all so real, I can taste it." Then she'd look back at the cage, the only home she's ever known. She'd look at the smiling zookeepers, the bored spectators, and her panting, bouncing, begging best friend, the lab. She'd sigh and say, "I should be grateful. I have a good enough life here. It's crazy to long for what doesn't even exist." I'd say, "Tabitha, you are not crazy. You are a goddamn cheater." Just take a moment for that. And maybe bring some sensation back into your body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Give yourself a big hug. Big squeeze, maybe a stretch. And when you're ready, roll onto your right side before making your way into your comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes closed. Go ahead and once you arrive, bring your left hand to your heart. Place your right hand on top of your left hand. Feel your heart beneath your palms. Speak those words once more. I am. And smile. Smile at who you are and what you provide. For your friends, your family, your beautiful children, but also for yourself. Bring your palms together at heart center. Bow your head to your hands. Namaste.
It's been such an incredible week with you all. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to guide you through these practices. So I really hope you enjoy them. I'm actually emotional having just read that story. It absolutely blows my mind. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it empowered you. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much again. Take care.